Hello students, welcome to Eduauraa. My name is Rajni Jha and I'll be taking Sociology optional classes. In today's session, we are going to continue with some of the questions that have been asked previously from the chapter called Sociology as Science. Let's get started with the first question. Examine the basic postulates of positivism and post-positivism. So I know that here I have to focus on two things. First, positivism, and post-positivism is the second thing. And we have to focus on the basic features or characteristics or postulates of that. So always stick to what is given in the question. Do not lose the sight of question. Otherwise, you'll end up writing everything under the sky and you don't have that much leverage in your examination, of course. So let's start with the introduction. Of course, the introduction will include positivism because we have to talk about it. Positivism is a philosophical theory stating that certain positive knowledge is based on natural phenomena and their properties and relations. Thus, information derived from sensory experience, interpreted through reason and logic, forms the exclusive source of all certain knowledge. So now that we have defined what positivism is, we will go on to the postulates of positivism. Another thing you need to keep in mind is just because you have been asked to write about positivism, don't go on and writing about positivism in just one page. Because the main idea, the main question stem was on the postulates of positivism. I introduced it in 2 or 3 lines maybe, and then I'll directly jump onto the main question, which is the postulates. First is naturalism. First postulate of positivism is naturalism. The idea that social and behavioral sciences should have the same structure and logical characteristics as the natural sciences. Second is the unity of science. The idea that ultimately all scientific theories should be subsumable under one most fundamental master theory. This assumption brings with it the idea of reductionism. Higher level sciences should be reducible to lower level sciences. Third is an assumption about methodology to affect that measurement and quantification are essential aspects of scientific knowledge. Fourth is an assumption about explanation, regularities, and laws. The assumption here is that explanation requires the discovery of law, like generalizations about the domain of phenomena encompassed by the scientific field. Fifth is an assumption about causation, that causation is a feature of statistical relationship among variables rather than a feature involving causal necessity or causal mechanisms. Then the last part of the question where you were asked about post-positivism. So we are going to talk about that. In philosophy and models of scientific inquiry, post-positivism is a meta-theoretical stance that critiques and amends positivism. While positivists emphasize independence between the researcher and the researched person, post-positivists accept that theories, background, knowledge, and values of the researcher can influence what is observed. While positivists emphasize quantitative methods, post-positivists consider both quantitative and qualitative methods to be valid approaches. Now again, I have explained what post-positivism is. Now I'll not add a lot in it. What I'll do is I'll directly jump to the postulates like it was asked in the question. So the postulates of post-positivism. First, it is realist about causation. It affirms the scientific validity of seeking for real social mechanisms. Second, it is pluralistic about method. It acknowledges that there are multiple rationally supportable methods of inquiry in the social sciences and multiple forms that social science knowledge can take. It is even-handed among quantitative, qualitative, comparative, and narrative approaches to social inquiry and social explanation. It is anti-reductionist and anti-naturalistic. It does not presume that various areas of social sciences should be reducible to some other mere fundamental scientific theory, and it does not presuppose that social sciences should resemble the natural sciences.